Hello and welcome to the Fort Point Historic Site. Whether you've been here before or not, we hope you'll be amazed by the beauty and strength of the fort that once was dubbed Guardian of the Golden Gate. First, let's have a look at where Fort Point is situated. Of course, when the work on the fort began in 1853, there was no Golden Gate Bridge. Today, Fort Point sits directly under the bridge's first arch. This spot was originally chosen by the Spaniards, who had an adobe fort called Castillo de San Joaquin on the bluff high above the point. When the land was ceded to the Americans, they also thought it was an excellent vantage point from which to defend the city and the bay, but they lowered the bluff and built their fort closer to the water. 80 years later, in the 1930s, the Golden Gate Bridge designers liked this location because they wanted to build their bridge here, on the narrowest part of the straits. The fort's purpose was to repel all intruders who might threaten San Francisco or want to steal the treasures arriving daily from the gold mines of the Sierras. That included pirates, foreign invaders, or later, during the Civil War, Southerners who might want to bring California or the gold mines under Confederate control. The only attempt by Southern sympathizers to attack and occupy Fort Point was by a group called the Knights of the Golden Circle. The plan failed before a single shot was fired. The fort, the city, and the state remained loyal to the Union throughout the conflict. Despite the beauty of this locale, Fort Point was once left to fall into disrepair and ruin. Now it has been restored to much of its former glory, a living history experience for everyone who visits it. So follow me through the Sallyport and straight into another century. This inner courtyard is called the Parade Ground. It was used for military marching exercises, as a gathering spot, and at times an open-air workshop. Chances are it's pretty windy today. It is most days. But when the sun shines, burning away our coastal fog, our courtyard is capped with blue skies, and even the thick walls and drafty passageways warm up a little bit. Sun or fog, we think you'll agree that Fort Point is a fascinating building that sits on one of the most beautiful spots on Earth, the Straits of the Golden Gate. Looking north from the fort, you can see the Golden Gate Bridge in the hills of Marin County. Looking east, you can see San Francisco, the bay, and the road that leads up to the fort. To the west is the Pacific Ocean. Looking out from the windows around the building and over the walls of the top level of the structure called the Barbette Tier, you can appreciate how well this fort was designed to see ships or other potential invaders approaching from any direction. The rangers here love to show people the beautiful brick archways, the spiraling staircases, and the original plaster and lath walls that define and enhance each tier of this building. Joseph B. Strauss, designer and builder of the Golden Gate Bridge, was so taken with the architecture of Fort Point that he publicly argued for its preservation. He called it one of the finest examples anywhere in the country of 19th century masonry art and engineering. He even modified the design of his famous bridge so that its first vaulting arch gracefully frames the fort. If you want to know more about the history of Fort Point or the building of the Golden Gate Bridge, there are 2 half-hour films that are shown continuously in our theater on the ground floor of this building. You can enter the theater through our bookstore or from a door along the wooden walkway that goes around the parade ground. But while you are here in this gallery, have a look at the other short videos from this program. They cover a number of topics about the people, the armaments, the living conditions, the construction, and the architecture of Fort Point. Once this place was staffed with soldiers, cooks, lighthouse keepers, and medical personnel. Today it is filled with National Park employees and people like you who have come to Fort Point to take in its beauty, learn some history, and enjoy a foray into the past. Unfortunately, we have very little by way of first-hand written accounts of life at Fort Point during the 19th century, when it was an active Army base. But we do have a few photos of the people who lived and worked at this site, and actual artifacts such as cannons, tools, cooking implements, furniture, and uniforms. So we, and you, our visitors, and historical reenactors, must use our collective imaginations to visualize what day-to-day life at Fort Point was like. But understanding our history is an ongoing process, and you can be part of it. If you, or anyone in your family, has letters, journals, photographs, or mementos from people who worked at Fort Point at any time in its history, we would love to see them and make them a part of the Presidio archives. We would, of course, return the originals to you and credit you with being a contributor to our collection. And now, if you touch any of the other icons on the iPad in front of this TV, you can view any of the other videos in this program. Once again, welcome to Fort Point, and we hope you enjoy your visit.